Yeah. Shalom Yasharala. Peace Israel. Barakatha YaHaWah. Barakatha YaHaWaShi. Call Allah YaHaWah. BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. BaHaSham Qadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth in its entirety, according to the Bible. Peace and salutation to the Akim pushing this truth all over the earth. And for the Akwith listening, quietly listening, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin camp here in Toronto with another lesson. The title of this lesson, hunger is on its way, man. Famine is on its way, right? So I was reading this article. And Italy right now, risks losing grip in South with fear of looting riots. Right? Looting riots, man. And this article's from yesterday morning. Poorer regions are feeling strain of shuttered economy. Sicily mayor warns economic distress could stir up violence. As Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte fights to hold Italian society together through a crippling nationwide lockdown, the depressed South is turning into a powder keg, right? So the North is where it's being affected with majority of the COVID-19 cases, right? But the South is a region that's, they have some COVID-19 cases, but not like the North, and it's a powder keg down there. Police have been deployed on the streets of Sicily's capital, Palermo, amid reports gangs are using social media to plot attacks on stores. And you see that right there? Gangs using social media to plot attacks. That's just a setup. That's just the government stepping in and cutting off all social media, all Wi-Fi. They did that a few years back when Egypt was having their revolution, right? They cut off all social media, so the activists, the revolutionaries couldn't communicate, right? And that's just another mechanism of control, man, right? Cutting off the Wi-Fi, right? A bankrupt ferry company halted service to the island, including vital supplies of food and medicines. As the state creaks under the strain of the coronavirus pandemic, officials worry the mafia may be preparing to step in. Preventing unrest in the so-called Mezzogiorno, the underdeveloped southern region that's long lagged behind the wealthy north, has become the government's top priority. According to Italian officials who asked not to be named, discussing the administration's strategy. With the European Union's most dangerously indebted state already fighting the Germans over the terms of the financial aid it needs, the fallout may reach far beyond Rome if Conte fails. Right? So the EU's got their hands tied with Germany right now, man. Right? This is just gonna be another uproar for them to try and quell, right? We need to act fast, more than fast, Palermo Mayor Leo Luca Orlando told Daily La Stampa. Distress could turn into violence. Italy has the highest death toll from the virus, with more than 11,000 fatalities and almost 102,000 confirmed cases, second only to the U.S. It's reported the smallest number of new coronavirus infections in almost 2 weeks on Monday, right? Calls for help. Within the aid he's already announced, Conte is trying to channel funds toward the South. Over the weekend, he advanced a 4.3 billion euros from a solidarity fund for municipalities and added 400 million euros to mayors that can be converted into coupons for groceries. No one will be left behind, the premier said in a televised address. Still, Southern leaders are clamoring for more. They say that the cash from the Solidarity Fund was already due to them, and the economic damage from the lockdown has brought their region to the verge of a breakdown. That opens another front for Conte, who is already struggling to stop the Italian health system from collapsing. Right? Italy's in straits right now, man. And fighting the European Union for joint debt issuance to help relieve the financial pressure on his government. Italy's economic output is set to shrink by 6.5% in 2020, according to research group Prometia. The lockdown has hit 3.7 million Italian workers. The lockdown has hit 3.7 million Italians working in the underground economy particularly hard, since they don't receive a regular salary and have difficulty accessing unemployment benefits. Many of them are concentrating in the South. Hey, and that's a reality everywhere, man. You know, the underground economy, you know, those that are entrenched in the underground economy, you can't apply for EI, man. You know what I mean? You can't receive some of these benefits that you see the government's rolling out and making announcements, right? It says right here, in the South, many people live day to day, doing odd jobs like unloading trucks at markets, and they're in trouble, right? Yeah, man, Italy, and it's just gonna get worse, man. The more and more the more and more people are trying to eat, trying to feed themselves, right? Police have been stationed outside supermarkets in Palermo after at least one group of angry residents refused to pay for their purchases. The private refused to pay for their purchases. The private Facebook group National Revolution, which has about 2,600 members, is urging others to stage such raids. Right, so you got a Facebook group urging urging people to not pay for their grocery runs, for their purchases. Just take it and go. Right. According to newspaper La Repubblica, other social media outlets, including WhatsApp chats, are being monitored, the newspaper said. Yeah, so the feds are watching this, man, right? But it's just another thing to deal with, right? Government's another thing for governments to deal with, and their hands are already full. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is just, yo, listen, man, hunger's coming because the supply chain's been disrupted. The supply chain's been disrupted, man, right? Truckers have been disrupted. The supply chain of food, truckers, how the food gets there, it's been disrupted, man. You know, people are getting sick, right? If truckers get sick, that's a truck that can't deliver. You know what I mean? Ezekiel 14, verse 13. And this is just in the precepts, man. This is in the scripture, you know? And it reads, Ezekiel 14, verse 13, and it reads, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it. Right? So, hey, listen, man. The Most High right here is saying, when the land sins grievously, right? When they trespass grievously, right? He's going to stretch out his hand on that particular land, wherever it be, right? And the whole world has trespassed grievously against the Most High, YaHaWah, BaHaSham, YaHaWaShi, right? And will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it, right? Famine, man. This is one of the Most High's swords, man. Famine, right? Second Ezra 15, and it's gonna get worse. The supply chain has been disrupted, man. I was reading another article. I'm gonna get to that too, man. Where the UN, I believe, is warning of food shortages on the whole world, man. Second Ezra 15, verse 56. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith YaHaWah, BaHaSham YaHaWaShi, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief, right? So listen, man, every hand is taking a part in the demise of Jacob, the demise of Israel. Trying to find that precept. Give me a second. Yeah, Psalm 79:7. For they have, Psalm 79:6. Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called up upon thy name. Right? The heathen don't know YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. Right? These other nations don't know YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. Verse 7. For they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his dwelling place. Khan. So we're seeing this place get devoured, man. Right? Right? Like as thou hast done to my chosen, right? What these heathen have done to Jacob, man. You know what I mean? Saith YaHaWah, even so shall YaHaWah do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Right? In this case, the mischief being famine coming, man. Right? Hunger, famine. Verse 57, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountain shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread, and thirst of water. Khan. Right? Famine's in the pipeline, man. You know what I mean? This is just one of the Most High YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWashi's swords, weapons, man. Right? 2 Ezra 15 verse 5. Behold, saith YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Right? This is one of the Most High YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWashi's weapons, man. And he sends them forth as amendment. 2 Ezra 16 verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right? Amendment being correction, punishment. Scourges being a strike. Right? Hitting, licks, whip. Right? I have another article here. The UN. United Nations warns of global food shortage caused by coronavirus measures. Report a few days ago, last week, a couple days ago, 26th of March. And it says the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization warned of a global food shortages caused by measures to stem the spread of the novel coronavirus. The worst that can happen is that governments restrict the flow of food. Maximo Torero, chief economist of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. Harvests have been good and staple crops remain in demand, but a shortage of field workers brought on by the pandemic and a move towards protectionism, tariffs, and export bans could lead to problems in the coming weeks, Torero said, according to the report. All measures against free trade will be counterproductive. Now is not the time for restrictions or putting in place trade barriers. Now is the time to protect the flow of food around the world, Torero added. Some countries have begun to protect their food supplies by restricting exports, which Terrero reportedly said could lead to an overall decrease in trade and subsequent decline in food production. Right? Yeah, man, we're gonna see supply chains tighten up. You know, decrease in importing, exporting. We're seeing those locusts just eat over there in Africa, man. Right? And the writing's on the wall, man. Right? Famine's on deck. Sirach 39, verse 29. Sirach 39, verse 29. In the Apocrypha, also known as Ecclesiasticus. Sirach 39, verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Right? The Most High YaHaWaShi created these for vengeance, man. Right? Right? Famine, man. It's in the pipeline. Famine is next, man. Right? Famine is next. Let's close out with this one. Lamentations 4. Right? Call it out YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi BaHaSham Qadash. Right? Lamentations 4, verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Right? It's better. It's better because a sword is quick death, man. And the sword is a bullet. You know, is a sword, a knife, act of violence. You know, the modern day sword is a bullet, man. Right? It's better to die basically a quick death than hunger. Right? They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away. Right? Pine away. Let's look at that word pine, man. Right? Pine away. Right? Yo, listen, man. Ribs is going to be touching. Ribs is going to be touching, man. Look up that movie called The Road. The Road. Right? I watched that movie not too. I'm gonna rewatch it again. Right? But them motherfuckers was they were cannibals, man. Pine. Old English. That's all. Yeah, man. Food shortages. It's on its way, man. You know what I mean? So you gotta get right with the Most High YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi if you're not right already. You know what I mean? Learn his true name, YaHaWah, who the world ignorantly calls God. BaHaSham in the name, YaHaWaShi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, man. Yeah, definition of pine away, to become thin and weak. Right? Because of sadness or loss. Right? So the loss of food, you're going to become thin and weak from the loss of food. For these pine away, right? Loss of food. Stricken through for want of fruits of the field. You're going to be dreaming about food, man. Wanting, yearning, right? But yeah, I pray you're edified. It was some quick precepts, man. Famine is coming. Gird up. Stay prayed up. Right? We're at the end of this thing, man. You know what I mean? Jacob's trouble is knocking on the door. You know what I mean? Stay prayed up, pray without ceasing. Call Allah YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi BaHaSham Qadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and the elders. A great millstone to teach well and rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim pushing his truth all over the earth. Kwame Asharala, Abad Baba.